Massage is an incredible profession where people are happy when they come to see you and even happier when they leave.
Doing a fundraiser for breast cancer, and the guys on the intercom going, "The masseuses are here." That's one term that we've kind of distanced ourselves from. Massage therapist, with the therapist implying that there isn't anything of a sexual nature going on.
A woman came in and she said, "Oh, I went to such and such a clinic and I got this massage." I didn't have the heart to tell her that she went into a notorious place that's being screened and watched by not only the FBI, but the IRS.
You start to realize maybe there's not as many days ahead as behind. And so I kind of thought to myself, what is it I really want to do? What is it I really like to do? What am I passionate about? And I found that I went back to those days of working one-on-one with people, doing rehab and helping them get healthy again. And so I decided, hey, massage is where I should probably be at.
My father still is appalled I'm a massage therapist. He's from the old school, and he was shocked and appalled, and it directly related with prostitution. That's the only exposure I ever had of it. In movies and whatnot, all the massage therapists were, dance hall girls or whatever. I educated him royally with articles and information, and yeah, he understands the difference between therapeutic massage and prostitution.
It has separated itself somewhat from that, but Anchorage is kind of a different place because we still have all those advertisements in the newspaper and in the yellow pages, that there is that connection that could be seen between massage and, the sex industry.
I got into massage. I was doing construction, and I was in the middle of herniating and then ultimately rupturing some discs in my back, and I was in a lot of pain, and went and got a massage from a friend of mine who turns out was running a school. And while I was getting the massage, I just thought, man, I got 2 kids. I'm so freaking grumpy. I'm so hurting. I need to do something different. I went home and talked to my wife, and I was like, I think I ought to go to this school. And she's like, okay.
One big debate is always the licensing. Some people would prefer not to have licensing here. I think that it's a good idea to have some standard. A state board, I think, would be a great way to go, because at this point you hear about things that are quite troubling. People that are working under the influence, people getting hurt during sessions, sexual misconduct.
I was also deeply affected by the adult entertainment industry and prostitution within the state of Alaska, hanging out shingles and advertising massage. There's no ethics board in the state, and there's no watchdog agency at all.
The local governments have gotten involved to legislate that, if you will, to regulate that. Anchorage has done that, Fairbanks has done that, and the idea basically is you want to be a massage therapist, you go to a school that's a minimum of, here in Anchorage anyways, minimum of 500 hours program, and you get through your program and you're good to go.
When I first started doing chair massage at health fairs, whatever, like 14 years ago or 15 years ago, people would be like, are you selling those things? What do you use those for? I had a massage chair with the knee thing, and you lay down and you have your face thing like this. And then very quickly, we had to have like 3 or 4 or 5 chairs set up because people would expect it at a health fair kind of thing, and they line up and whatnot. So it's not so much that there's less of an association or there's less people offering escort or prostitution or whatever in the guise of massage therapy. I don't think that's lessened at all, and I doubt it'll ever change. But what is clear and more distinct, that there's more of a identity of body work as being something that people seek out for like medical and for relaxation and that kind of thing.
Even with the municipal license, which is all that we have here in Anchorage, there are loopholes in it. A doctor can hire someone off the street to do massage in their office without having any training. And if you want to interface with the medical community, I think that we really need to bring that standard up.
And as a massage therapist, you've got to be able to converse with physicians, with chiropractors. You've got to be able to read clinical reports that they share with you. You've got to understand medications and how they affect the body. You've got to understand how what contraindications are. There's a lot to it.
And what you're seeing now is a lot of people are coming out of high school and they're going into massage. And so I think in that instance, they do need a little more time, because ethics is really a trial and error thing in your own life. And if you don't have a lot of life experience yet, I think, you know, sometimes a little bit longer program could be beneficial that way.
I've had massages. One was in Hawaii, and he was licensed, and it was very inappropriate. And had I had sexual abuse issues in my background, it would have freaked me out. It freaked me out as it was, but I was able to work through it. And I told him at the end. I kept making comments to him like, "This isn't appropriate. You know, I want to be more draped." And his comments to me were, "Well, you Northerners, you're so prude." And it was like, no, this isn't. If I'm not comfortable, you need to work on this level. And he was doing a type of low, which was all up and down the body, but his touch was inappropriate, and I knew it. And I told him when he was packing up to leave. I actually ended the massage after a while, and I said, if I had sexual abuse issues, you would bring up more than you could ever imagine.
I always tell people, listen, if you're uncomfortable at any time, so please let me know, and we'll modify what we're doing. Nowadays, when I used to do massage, I didn't talk to people much, because people come, they want to relax, they want to chill. Now what I do, it's like, it kind of hurts, and I talk to people all the time. There's a lot of education that goes on during the session. It's really different. But even when you tell someone, hey, if you're uncomfortable, let me know, some people don't even know they're uncomfortable.
I think state licensing is important to that whole idea of, at least regulating the industry to where you can weed out those so-called maybe questionable therapists from the legitimate. And I think, the other thing that's interesting with Alaska is, you can pretty much in most places hang a shingle out, say you're a massage therapist, but you don't have to have any training, any licensing, nothing along those lines outside of a business license that anybody can get from the state. Even here in Anchorage, even with the quote-unquote program they have with licensure, there is no regulatory portion of that right now. I don't know of any one instance I can think of where there's been a therapist called on the carpet because of some impropriety or kind of behavior. And I think that is one thing that state licensing will remedy. There will be, if I have anything to do with it, there'll be some kind of process instigated to where if somebody is showing impropriety, then hey, guess what? You're going to have to come across the board, and you're going to have to prove that whatever modalities you're doing or whatever actions you're doing justify therapeutic massage.